gunned down before he had a chance to make it big.
That's what I want him to know, for real, for real. Don't try to be that.
He did express that he was hopelessly lost.
Broad daylight on any block and let this bitch off.
Welcome back to another episode of Tru-Street TV, where we cover everything street related. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell, and let's get right into it. Today's story brings us back to Detroit, Michigan. As we talked about in previous episodes, Detroit is a city with many problems, including high unemployment and a deep-rooted street culture. In turn, creating a city with countless young men trying to make it out. That brings us to the man we're here to talk about today, Byron Cox Jr., or better known by his rap name, Dex Osama. Born on the west side of Detroit, August 13th, 1993, Dex has two brothers and was raised primarily by his mother. His mother would explain how she had Dex when she was very young, so they had more of a friendship than a mother-son relationship.
I was a boy mom, so me and my children, we grew up together. They taught me things too, as you know what I'm saying. I was a boy mom.
She also has two brothers that Dex looked up to, named Ronnie and Chico. Both of his uncles would end up losing their life to the streets. Ronnie was killed in the early 2000s, and Chico passed in 2009.
See, his uncles is respected, known niggas.
They didn't play. Anybody in the city of Detroit know the brothers, they call them twins because they had good long hair, freckles like me. They didn't play.
Dex really didn't have a chance at a normal life. Being born into the trenches of Detroit with no real guidance, he was quickly influenced by the street culture, and his uncles dying in the streets heavily affected him. And as a kid, Dex was infatuated with gangster movies and rappers, and she said she knew he was going to be a gangster when he grew up. He would later adopt the rap name Young Dex before eventually changing it to Dex Osama. He gets the name Dex because of the block he is from. It's on the corner of Dexter Avenue and Collingwood on the city's west side. Their clique is called Chopper Boys. He would play around with rapping all throughout his childhood, and around 2014, street guys in Detroit began making a huge buzz in the city with their music, like Peasy, Babyface Ray, and many more. One of his friends, who goes by Bagman Turt, would begin bringing Dex to the studio with him around this time, and the earliest song I was able to find by Dex was released this year, being a feature with Babyface Ray and T Grizzly called Chopper Boys, released on August 14, 2014.
Chopper boys, we kill anybody. Pull up to the party and smoke everybody.
Dex went crazy on this song, and he had a lot of respect in the streets. Getting a song with two soon-to-be stars was big for him at the time. A few months later in December, he would release Chopper Freestyle through LED Productions. This has over 2.5 million views on YouTube.
Niggas talking choppers here, we got plenty. We the reason why it's teddy bears around the city.
Dex would start off 2015 releasing a song called Ghetto Dope on February 13th. This has over 800,000 views on YouTube.
Niggas talking bodies, yeah, we got those. Hot bike swinging choppers to his block close.
Around this time, Dex was experiencing mental health issues, and his mother would explain how one night Dex called her and began telling her about nightmares he was having where there was a black cloud holding him down. His mother would tell him that's the Grim Reaper and he has death on him, and he will die very soon if he doesn't change his ways.
He said this black cloud was over me and he was choking me and I couldn't move and I couldn't breathe, and I started screaming because I knew the Reaper had came to my son. I said, Byron, you got death on you.
Like many street dudes in Detroit, Dex was getting very wild in the streets around this time and was heavily involved. Dex will go on to turn this conversation with his mother into a big song, released on March 7, 2015, titled Death on Me. This was a huge song in the city, sitting at over 8 million views today.
My mama said I got death on me. The reason why I got this vest on me, yeah.
Dex was having these nightmares frequently and would say he was hearing voices, and he thought he heard the devil's voice as he would listen to the song Death on Me.
Because when I like, my mama said I got death on me. And then I say it again like death on me. But the second verse, like the second word, you can hear the devil voice like death on me. I'm like, what the fuck? I called the studio nigga like, did you put that effect in that voice? He like, no, I ain't do that. I thought you did that. I said, man, no, I didn't do that. And I ain't hear it till one day I was high, just riding.
His mother would have her pastor talk to Dex. The pastor would speak about their talks in a documentary later released about Dex.
Queen was worried about her son. She would call me every 2 days. Son's hearing voices and whatnot. I said, well, Queen, if he'll talk to me, I'll meet him somewhere.
This song was so successful, it got around to rapper Meek Mill, and he eventually got into contact with Dex and ended up having him come out to the studio and to an event in Miami.
Mama said I got that for me.
Yeah.
Reason why I got this vest. Niggas want me to
Come get me.
Detroit rapper Dej Loaf would also begin following Dex on Instagram around this time and would reach out to him and have him open at some of her concerts. They would later drop a song together.
Now, Dej Loaf co-signed. it seemed like she co-signed you before that video went viral. Like she knew you was hot.
Yeah.
Dex will go on to release another song, remixing Spice One's song titled Strap on the Side of Me, Dex calling his version Chopper on the Side of Me. Well-known Detroit rapper GT would appear in this video, and it sits at right under 2 million views on YouTube.
I got 2 clips taped to this fucking cake. Soon as I hit him, I'ma flip this bitch the other way.
He would also feature on a song called Can't See Me, released the next day on March 31st.
Most of my enemies be tweeting. I catch them while they smoked up and leaning. Open fire, leave them niggas bleeding.
And just a month later, on April 20th, he would release another big single titled 19.5. This has over 3 million views on YouTube.
Get the tan and sir right in front of you, Benny Hondas. 9 times out of 10 niggas don't want no problem.
A few weeks later, Dex will remix Tupac's Ambition of a Rider, releasing Riders on May 9th. This also has over 3 million views. And just 4 days later, on May 13th, he would release a remix to Fugees' Ready or Not. This also has over 3 million views. And Dex was one of the hottest rappers in the city around this time.
I'm trying to get this deal before the devil killed me. Fake niggas say I ain't real cause they don't feel me.
And just 3 days after that release, Dex would release a song alongside GT called Paid in Full.
These niggas bitches, they freeze up when they see me. Clips sticking out the 40, look like Peasy.
And the next day after this, on May 17th, Dex would release 3 songs, one being called Thousands, which Babyface Ray and GT appeared on, as well as a song titled Bitch that has over 750,000 views, followed by a song titled Heavy. While shooting the video to Heavy, Dex accidentally shot off a gun.
Nigga call the cop police, can't shit stop us, hit him in his chest with that 40, make his legs wobble.
And a few weeks after this, on June 6th, Dex will release a music video titled Boys in the Hood. This was a big song and sits at over 4 million views on YouTube.
Boys in the hood, get that nigga the ball back. Ride with some shit to knock a nigga car in half.
Shortly after this, on the night of June 21st, around 11:45 p.m., a fight would break out downtown Detroit involving Band Gang members. Band Gang is a well-known rap group in Detroit and are known to be into it with Dex. After the fight, a man will pull out a gun and chase 2 Band Gang members, shooting both of them and sadly killing 18-year-old Martez Taylor, who went by the nickname 2 Dots. This would be a tragic loss for Band Gang, and they would mention Dots in countless songs. Dex will go on to drop a huge song a week later on June 28, titled Clean Up Man. This was a big song at the time and has well over 6 million views.
We go crazy, shooting shit up like the Navy.
Main Music and Tech would remix this song a year later, calling it Go Crazy. Their video has almost 20 million views. And around a month later, after releasing Clean Up Man, Dex would release a song titled Jack Boy Shit. In this song, he would diss Band Gang 2 Dots and will put Rocaine on the feature, another Detroit rapper Band Gang was into it with around this time.
Around town, 1 chopper, nigga, 2 Glocks, 2 Glocks. Hit him in his head, call him 2 Dots.
Band Gang will quickly respond to this, releasing a diss to Dex just 8 days later.
Doing something like Obama did. I got 10, that's for whoever know where niggas live.
Shortly after this, his song with Dej Loaf would be released, titled Lifestyle. This song has almost 2 million views on YouTube.
Put the cane in the house and let the cane dance. Quit the hitting nigga block just like a Ray-Ban.
And around a week later, on September 7, 2015, Detroit would be shook with horrible news. Dex and his friend Tato Bin Laden would go to the Crazy Horse strip club on the city's west side. There just happened to be an event at the strip club this night as there was a birthday celebration taking place. Dex's girlfriend was a dancer at this strip club and she would warn him that she's about to be dancing on the guys and if he was going to get jealous, he should just stay behind. But Dex insisted he didn't care and wanted to go to the club.
But she did say that, if you're going to get mad, I'm about to go in here and make us some money, babe. If you're going to get mad, don't come here. And his exact words was, man, I ain't tripping on that shit. I don't give a fuck.
After being in the club for about 45 minutes, Dex would notice his girlfriend going to dance on a group of men in a section. Shortly after this, Tato would say Dex asked him for the pistol he had. He would give the gun to Dex, and when his girlfriend returned by where he was sitting, he began yelling at the woman and poured champagne on her head. He would also fire a shot into the ceiling of the strip club before exiting the building. Tato would say he didn't know Dex was high off Xanax pills around this time, and he would say he couldn't calm Dex down.
Brody lost it. He just mushed her, poured the champagne bottle all over her face. He was all right. Them bars, that's what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't himself. He wouldn't have crashed out like that, bro. I know my brother, he wouldn't have crashed out like that. It was just them bars. He don't take Xanax, man. That nigga was The bars, how you go from 0 to 100 quick.
Once outside, Dex was pissed off and would walk around and shoot another shot into the air. And when the man whose party it was came out to ask Dex why he ruined the party, followed by a large group of men who were in the club. Shortly after this, a man in the opposing crowd will pull a gun out and shoot Dex in the chest. 25 more shots will be fired after this. Dex sadly was killed by the gunfire, and this will be a tragic loss for the city of Detroit.
2 people have been shot, one of them fatally outside the Crazy Horse strip club. We are told that this started as an argument over a woman.
I think Dex should have had some people with him that can really, you know what I mean, help him and guide him. Because he wasn't number 22 years old. You gotta look at, this man had an old soul. He was 22 years old. If he don't never tell you his age, you would never guess he's 22. You see what I'm saying?
Detroit police would investigate this altercation, and 46-year-old Otis Davis would be charged in Dex's murder alongside 31-year-old Dietrich Odoms.
Handcuffed together, suspects 31-year-old Dietrich Odoms and 47-year-old Otis Davis faced a courtroom overcrowded with friends and family of rapper Dex Osama. The two are accused of killing him together.
Otis would plead guilty to manslaughter and will receive 5 to 22 years in prison. He would also plead guilty to possessing a firearm by a felon and be sentenced to additional 5 years for the gun. He will have a chance for parole in September of this year. Dietrich Odoms, on the other hand, will claim self-defense and receive 2 years in prison just for the gun possession.
If you was in his corner, how would you, just hypothetically speaking, obviously you can't go back in time, how would you have kind of diffused the situation that night?
I ain't even gonna lie to you, I wouldn't even diffuse it. If we was in the club, okay, then I probably would try to talk to him. But once we got outside, fooling them already had their mind on killing them. We ain't got no choice but to lay on these niggas. This nigga's a real killer. I don't know the nigga personally, but dude was a killer. He from the east side.
It's now 10 years later in the year of 2025, and Dex's name still lives on. And sadly, Dex's brother Ducey would also pass away from gunfire about a year and a half after Dex was killed.
We are learning that a man biking in this area around 8 o'clock tonight saw the victim dead in the street here off Beatrice. That man called 911. Police right now are not sure why this man was targeted. Police say the victim was shot in the head, and they don't know who is responsible or what sparked this violence.
Close to Dex would also posthumously release his debut album on September 11, 2015, titled 9/11. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Also, let me know in the comments who I should cover next. Peace.
The world knew Dex. I want to introduce Byron. You know what I'm saying? I want to introduce that son who 4 days prior to him being murdered, he went to my pastor crying because he wanted out. He didn't want to continue that lifestyle, but he felt he had done so much that God would not have forgave him.